right now on 5 on your side at 10.
If you know you have food, you can go to your doctor, you can go to your dentist. You don't have to worry about that meal. We just make sure that you have food and your belly's full so you can take care of yourself.
Feeding the community. How Pride St. Louis made sure no one went hungry or alone this Thanksgiving.
Well, we got through the Thanksgiving holiday very nicely, but we're looking ahead to Saturday night snow in Kansas and Missouri. What this system does for us overnight and if it's going to impact your travel plans.
But first, some local faces in the national spotlight.
When we got invited to this, it was such an honor and almost unbelievable that we were chosen.
The O'Fallon, Illinois Marching Band makes it to the Big Apple and the big screen.
A very good evening to you. I'm Brent Solomon. A Metro East High School band shines in the national spotlight. The O'Fallon Township High School Marching Band was featured today in the Macys Thanksgiving Day Parade. Our Laura Bercheski caught up with them right after the performance.
Brent, this moment was well over a year in the making, and it was truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the O'Fallon Marching Band and their families.
From Illinois, let's welcome the O'Fallon Township High School Marching Panthers back to the parade. They were here 31 years ago in 1992.
Roughly 290 O'Fallon students, staff, and their families traveled nearly 1,000 miles to march in the 97th Macys Thanksgiving Day Parade.
We're really honored to be in it. We know it's such a special performance that not every high school student gets to be a part of.
For Drumline senior Devin Aiello, it's an even more special way to end a successful final season as a Panther.
I'm really proud because it took a lot of work, and ever since COVID, it was just like you started from almost like ground zero and like you had to work your way up.
His sister, who's a freshman, is also part of the color guard, and their mom, Vicky, says these are memories they'll cherish.
We've been up since 4 a.m. Got out on the streets about 5:30, but it was so worth it to see the kids march down the street, not only mine, but the 290 some other marching Panthers that I kind of call my kids too.
They marched for 2.5 miles playing tunes to fit the holiday theme they chose, and they wrapped it all up with a special song arranged just for them.
Our message is about joy to the world. And so we combined Ode to Joy, which everybody knows, with Joy to the World. And then we spelled out joy at the end using parts of a wreath as the O and then a J and a Y to represent joy to everyone out there on this wonderful Thanksgiving Day.
The O was also a nod to the entire O'Fallon community and beyond.
The O represents unity as well. You know, if you think about the shape of that, it's a shape that brings togetherness. And that's what today is all about.
The O'Fallon Panthers will be making their way back to Illinois on Friday, just in time for one of their last performances of the year at the O'Fallon Illuminated Holiday Parade.
All right, Laura, thanks. We wish them safe travels. Well, throughout our area today, groups brought people together to have a free Thanksgiving meal. Afton Christian Church offering meals for people who just wanted to be with others for the holiday. Today, they served around 400 meals. And over in Lee May, more of the goodwill continued at the Gethsemane Lutheran Church. Folks gathered in the gymnasium there for a day of unity. Guests were even treated to some live music. Over in downtown St. Louis, the House of Soul gave out more than just food today. At their 6th annual Thanksgiving feast, organizers helped serve more than 400 people by giving them winter clothes and even haircuts as well. This year's event was especially important to House of Soul owner Nicole Stevenson. She was recently diagnosed with cancer. As she fights it, she's determined to give back.
I focused on today. If I could make it to today, I'll be okay. And I am full of joy and full of happiness that this is something that we will continue to do.
House of Soul is hosting another event just like this one next month. It will be on Christmas Day from 12 until 3 p.m. For nearly 2 decades now, Pride St. Louis has continued its effort to make sure no one goes hungry on the holiday. 5 on your side's Diamond Palmer takes us to today's event.
Pride groups across St. Louis have gathered here at St. Paul's Episcopal Church to make sure nobody goes hungry this Thanksgiving, and it takes over 40 volunteers.
We did 300 meals last year. We're going to do 300 meals this year. This is our 18th year of doing this.
For 18 years, Jordan Braxton with Pride St. Louis and various community partners have hosted Feeding the Community. Braxton says no matter your sexuality, you're welcomed and will be loved inside of the doors of St. Paul's. She says people in the Pride community suffer this time of year.
Unfortunately, people in the LGBTQIA plus community, they can't go home for Thanksgiving, or you might be transitioning. Your family has those questions they want to ask you that are not really relevant to anything. So we just do this so that people in the community know that they don't have to be alone on Thanksgiving.
There you go. The inspiration for this event came from Braxton's mother. And whether you're dining in or getting these meals delivered, people will have something warm on their belly this evening. She says over the years, it's overwhelming to see the community's support.
Especially with all the hateful rhetoric that's out there, all the anti-LGBT laws are being passed. This is just a moment and time for us to get together and support one another and show some love.
Braxton's fight for the Pride community will never end, she says.
And I'll be damned if I'm going to leave Missouri over some laws. That's why I fight. I go to Jefferson City.
Braxton says in December there will be another holiday meal for people that don't have the means. Reporting in St. Louis, Diamond Palmer, 5 on your side.
And Pride STL's December community meal will also happen on Christmas Day. Well, we made it through a beautiful Thanksgiving today, but there is some possible snow on the horizon. Here's meteorologist Gary Frank with your Weather First forecast.
Yeah, well, putting it that way, yeah, snowflakes falling absolutely out west, and that's the time of the year that we're transitioning. As far as a big impact, let's hold off on that because temperatures are going to stay way above freezing. But when we start to see, these decorations, it feels like it's a little bit cooler, like it should be. It's just we're having a hard time getting anything fall to the surface, rain, snow, sleet, whatever it may be. So it's going to be a minute. We can start to see it starting to work its way in here as we look in South Dakota, and it's going to be a pretty good snowstorm in central Kansas. So if you're driving back across I-70, maybe to Denver or something like that, Saturday into Sunday, that's where you're really going to be impacted. But right now, it's pretty quiet. We're starting to see clouds increase, but they're not going to hold our temperatures all that much. We've already fallen in the mid-30s here. Troy, Edwardsville, Lake St. Louis, and O'Fallon, you're in the 30s already. We're going to continue to fall a little bit more. And for tomorrow, it's a chilly start, but it's cooler in the afternoon. It's 45 degrees. But then we're going to look ahead to that system as it inches ever closer. How does it impact us? Your travel areas that are most focused on, whether you're driving or flying, and what it means for us as we head into this weekend.
All right, Gary, we'll see you in a bit. This evening, firefighters responded to flames going through the roof of a Maryland Heights apartment complex. This was the scene on Silent Spring Drive near I-270 and Dorset. The call came in just before 8 tonight. Crews from Creve Coeur arriving to help put that fire out. It was under control in about an hour. No word yet on how it started. A Jefferson County man pleads guilty to his connection to the January 6th Capitol riots. Eric Glenn Hauerer pled guilty to charges of parading, demonstrating, or picketing in a Capitol building. In exchange for his guilty plea, prosecutors dropped 3 other charges. Hauerer's sentencing is set for February. He's facing 6 months in prison, 5 years probation, and a $5,000 fine. The city of St. Louis facing a lawsuit for the wrongful death of a detainee at the City Justice Center back in 2020. According to the lawsuit, Kevin Cavins was suffering extreme pain from a recent injury and opioid withdrawals. His sister claims he was never referred to the jail's doctor. He died 33 days after being detained. The lawsuit comes less than a week after the St. Louis Board of Aldermen made it possible for city jail guards to file anonymous complaints to try to prevent situations like this.
This Board of Aldermen also agrees that it's bigger than just lawsuits. We're losing life. Yes, jail is not a place of luxury, but there's been, like I said, 10 people killed in the jail. That's why this Board of Aldermen passed that board bill overwhelmingly.
Since Cavin's death, 10 more detainees have died behind bars at the City Justice Center. A trial date now set in the crash that caused Janae Edmondson to lose both of her legs. The teen was visiting St. Louis for a volleyball tournament. A car hit her while she was walking downtown. Well, now a jury has scheduled the case to go to trial at the end of January. Earlier today, Janae's mother gave an update. She says she's thankful to God for saving the teenager that day. Israel and Hamas are pausing the conflict in Gaza to exchange hostages and prisoners. This will happen at 7 a.m. local time. The pause will last for 4 days. Groups of 10 will be released each day. The first group of 13 people released will be families of women and children. The Red Cross will be allowed to assess other hostages to get them medical help. At the same time, Israel will also release 3 Palestinians held captive for every Israeli hostage let go. The deal was brokered by Qatar, which hopes this will be the beginning of a longer truce. And in support of those hostages, some in our area took to the streets. Participants in Olivet's annual Turkey Trot joined the 5K run to spread awareness for the war. The words "Run for their lives" was on their shirts, and they held signs with photos of people who are held captive by Hamas. One runner says he wants people to remember that families are still separated.
We're here in support of all the hostages that are held in Gaza. We want to make sure that nobody forgets about them. It's been almost 7 weeks and they need to come home. Hopefully, to celebrate their holidays with their family.
Proceeds from the Turkey Trot go to the Harvey Kornblum Jewish Food Pantry. You can get the very latest updates on the war and those impacted by texting Israel to 314-425-5355.
I think the important thing right now is to not panic.
Puppies getting sick. What you should know about a new respiratory illness found in dogs.
The holiday and most of the last few days have been very dry. Our drought monitor says that there are even parts of our area in a severe drought. If the precipitation we're getting this weekend will impact that as we close out the month of November, and if December looks any more wet.
Well, Black Friday used to signal the start of holiday shopping sales, but this year it kicked off at the beginning of October. There's still plenty of good deals out there as Consumer Reports points out some Black Friday shopping strategies. Here's Mike Bush.
The discounts being offered this holiday shopping season are expected to reach record highs. While there are plenty of sales going on right now, the best prices will still come around Cyber Week. And according to Consumer Reports shopping experts, when you shop really does matter.
Black Friday is still the best time to get a discount on a new TV. On Saturday, we expect to see the deepest discounts on laptops. Toys and apparel will be at their best prices on Sunday. And on Cyber Monday, look for the biggest discounts on appliances and electronics.
But with all this shopping excitement, sales masquerading as fantastic bargains are not always as good as they look. So CR has 3 tips to make sure you get the best deals possible. Tip number 1, skip the in-store sales and shop online.
There may be a lot of great deals in stores, but it's a lot easier to comparison shop when you shop online. Plus, in recent years, we've seen retailers really start to offer the same prices in stores as online, so you can shop wherever you're most comfortable.
Tip 2, let tech be your guide. Even before Black Friday, check out price comparison websites like Google Shopping, Price Grabber, Shopzilla, and Consumer Reports so you can know if something is actually a good deal. And before you even step foot in a store, make sure you've downloaded a smartphone app that lets you scan barcodes or QR codes to compare prices, get discounts, and score coupons. CR recommends Buy-Via, Shopkick, ShopSavvy, and Shopular. And tip number 3, stay connected.
Make sure you join stores' loyalty programs and follow your favorite retailers and brands on social media. This can give you access to exclusive coupon codes, early deals, and other discounts.
And while you're online, share that Black Friday shopping intel with your friends.
Mike Bush reporting. CR says to be wary of signing up for an interest-free in-store credit card, hoping to double down on your savings. They may be fine if you're disciplined enough to pay off the balance before the promotional period ends. But if you don't, you'll get stuck paying interest on the full amount of the purchase, even if you've paid down a lot of the balance. Well, Following Your Side is partnering again with the Foster and Adoptive Coalition again this holiday season for their Little Wishes campaign. We're looking to grant more than 4,000 holiday wishes for kids impacted by foster care this year. And there's an in-person shopping day next Saturday at the Circle of Knowledge in Sunset Hills. Or you can go to ksdk.com/littlewishes to learn more. Right now, dogs all across the country are coming down with a new illness. And this comes as many pets are being boarded for holiday travel. 5 on Your Sight's Tracy Henson talked to an urgent care vet about what you need to know.
I think the important thing right now is to not panic. I think if your dog is fully vaccinated and your dog is healthy, it doesn't have a fever, it's not coughing, then I personally think it's safe for you to board your pet.
With the word mystery being thrown out, it is hard not to panic.
I think it would be a good idea to maybe take just a little bit more precaution. So if your dog is coughing, I think it's a good idea to go into the vet and just have them checked out.
Most cases should be seen quickly, but are not an emergency situation unless.
If your pet is lethargic, if they're not eating, if they don't feel well, like if they have low energy and they're coughing, that I would consider that an emergency.
You've heard the word mystery thrown out, and that can be scary.
The mystery, illness doesn't help a lot. We've been dealing with respiratory outbreaks in dogs for a long time.
But this variety is new.
This is a new bacterium that they're growing, something that is that they haven't identified before in dogs.
Vets are treating the bacteria with doxycycline. They're just not sure how effective it is.
Because it's too small of an organism, it just doesn't grow on a petri dish very well.
And that means scientists have a hard time testing different treatments.
There's been some reported cases where pets have died from this.
A very limited group. Currently, the illness has only been found in dogs. Tracy Henson, 5 on Your Side.
And there have been some cases in Illinois, none in Missouri. To find out more information, look for an article on our website, ksdk.com. Well, 5 on Your Side's Gary Frank joins us now with your Weather First forecast. Gary, what do we need to know here? We're paying attention to what you're saying.
Yeah, it's quiet right now the next few days, and I think your travel is going to be just fine. But the further west you head, where it's a little bit colder, they're going to be dealing with their first taste of winter. Right now, it doesn't feel like that now. It was very pleasant today. Temperatures warmed up above average, and still, it hasn't dropped all that much. We're at 41 right now. 57 was the high today. It's 5 degrees above normal. We got a north breeze now at around 10 miles an hour. And we've only seen about a half an inch of rain so far. It's the 14th driest November so far, but it's likely going to be a top 10 dry month because we only had one opportunity, and it's that day, Saturday night into Sunday, at least of any precipitation at all. And it's just been really dry, and that's why I mentioned that drought monitor. As I take another look at that as it's continued to expand, it's not a great thing heading into the winter just because you don't get those 1-2 inch rainfalls that kind of help you mitigate that drought. It's going to take several of those, so we'll see how that goes. But for now, overnight temps are going to fall in the upper 20s, low 30s outside of the city, mid 30s inside the city. And tomorrow, we're only going to be in the mid 40s. We got more cloud cover and northeast breeze at 10 to 15 miles an hour. But it's this system right here that we're looking at specifically here. It's you can see just this slow spin here in Salt Lake City, and that's what's gradually going to be working its way. You'll notice that snow leading edge in Rapid City. That's where we're going to continue to look at as that works its way closer to us. You'll notice that by Saturday night, it's still dry here. Our temperatures way above the freezing mark of 32, and we also have a very warm pavement. Keep that in mind. It hasn't really been all that cold, all things considered. But then watch this start to transition to snow after midnight. It doesn't have to be snow. It doesn't have to be below freezing at the surface for snow to fall. We've seen that plenty of times, right? It's colder above the surface, but watch how quickly, even at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, this transitions to rain. I think we'll see a nice mix of rain and snow here at this point, but the further north or the further well west of Kansas City that you head, if you're driving, that's where you're probably going to deal with that, even as we head into Chicago, maybe some minor airport delays. For us, I don't see an issue with that for a lot of reasons. This is all rain. You'll notice where the bullseye snow is, north of Wichita. Really anywhere from Kansas City into Wichita, they're going to get 3 to 5 inches of snow. For us, the further closer to Pike County you get, maybe you'll start to see a brief accumulation in the grass. We'll keep you posted, but I just don't see temperatures falling below 32 for not only any period of time, but there's not going to be enough heavy snow to overcome that warm pavement like we see sometimes in some of these early systems. There's not much moisture. Precipitation is light. We got that cold rain with a few flakes mixing in, little to no impacts whatsoever. We got a warm ground, and it's above 32. The next few days, we go from the mid 40s with that rain in the morning with a few flakes, and then we're close to 50 degrees, if not exceeding it, by next week.
All right, Gary, thank you much. We've got Corey standing by now with sports.
Football, football, and more football from high school to college and, of course, the NFL. We have your second helping of Thanksgiving football on deck. Stick around. Sports is up next.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
For those of you not currently asleep in the final food coma of the night, thanks for staying up. Thanksgiving and football, it's a pair that goes together like mashed potatoes and gravy. And if you happen to doze off during any of today's Thanksgiving NFL action, I have got you covered. Niners and Seahawks for control of the NFC West in a game you saw right here on NBC. If it's a 49ers game, you know Christian McCaffrey is going to score. Here's his second of the game. That made it 20-3 San Francisco. Seahawks made it a game, though. They got this pick six from Jordan Brooks to cut it to 14, but the Niners put the game to bed in the fourth. San Fran wins 31-13. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys were locked in today against the Commanders. Dak had 4 touchdowns. Here's 2 of them. First to CeeDee Lamb, and then to Cavante Turpin, which leads to a jump in the Salvation Army bucket. This game was already over, but the Cowboys wanted to make some history. Deron Bland picks off Sam Howell. He's going to run it back for a pick six. Now, why is that historic? Well, it's Bland's 5th pick six of the season. That's the most by any player in a single season in NFL history. Dallas wins 45-10. The St. Louis natives on the Lions took on Green Bay this morning. Highland's Sam Laporta had an early TD from Jared Goff. The former Bulldog has 5 now in his rookie year. Green Bay has a St. Louis kid as well. Here's CBC's Jonathan Owens scooping up a Goff fumble and taking it into the end zone. That's his first career score. Packers pad their lead. I know his wife Simone Biles loved that. Jordan Love had a day for the Packers. Here's one of his 3 touchdowns. This one to Christian Watson. Packers ruined Detroit's Thanksgiving with a 29-22 victory. If it is St. Louis in Thanksgiving time, you know where to go to catch some live football action. For more than a century, Kirkwood and Webster Groves have been going at it in one of the oldest high school rivalries in the country, and today's Turkey Day game added another chapter. Kirkwood trying to keep the Frisco Bell for the 10th straight year. Owen Neslage to Larry Robinson. Robinson has just enough space up the sideline. He's gone for a touchdown. Pioneers up. Neslage would keep slinging it. Here he's going to find Chris Potter. Watch closely. He's going to haul it in for a one-handed touchdown. Nice catch there. Trevian Holsey would get a touchdown for Webster Groves later on, but it was all Pioneers today. They win big 65-13 and ring that bell for the 10th year in a row. Mizzou follows up their day of turkey today with a side of hog tomorrow. Tigers travel to Fayetteville for their annual Battle Line rivalry matchup with the Razorbacks. But can you call it a rivalry? Well, on the field, I'm not so sure. Mizzou is 10-4 against Arkansas all time. They're 7-2 against the Hogs since joining the SEC. Coach Drinkwitz certainly thinks it's a rivalry, and his players, well, they're focused on finishing strong with their 10th win of the season.
Just based off reading my Twitter mentions, I'd say it's pretty strong. So, yeah, I mean, it means a lot to us. I think anytime you play for a trophy as a competitor, it means something to you. You know, we enjoy that people don't think it's a rivalry because we believe it is a rivalry.
I remember after the Georgia week, you know, we said, hey, we still have a lot to play for. You know, we have a 10-win season to play for, and that's what we're trying to go out and finish.
Excited for that game tomorrow. Hopefully Mizzou can finish strong.
Yeah, we'll be rooting for him. Thank you much. Well, today was full of parades, but some people can't get enough. A look at what's hitting the streets in the coming weeks. Well, today, New York wasn't the only place to see a Thanksgiving Day parade. St. Louis had its own Thanks for Giving parade. It made its way down Market Street this morning with floats, classic cars, and of course, those great big balloons. But there's a lot more upcoming holiday parades over the next few weeks. There's 2 happening this weekend in Highland and in O'Fallon, Illinois. And you can check out 3 more next week in Festus, Pevely, and Collinsville. Look out for the 5+ Live bus when you're out there. All right, we've got those Black Friday shoppers tomorrow.
Yeah, it'd be cold. Yeah, people still getting up and going into the stores. I kind of forget about those days, right?
Yeah, they just want a deal.
Just got to get up and get after it. I'm not going to get up and get after it, but, you know, for those people that do, you know, it's going to be colder. We're still looking at temps in the mid to upper 20s. It just won't warm up all that much in the afternoons, kind of like we would expect for November. Our main highlight is going to be obviously the snowflake on Sunday mixed with rain. it's going to snow on Sunday morning. We're going to mix it with a lot of rain, but it's not going to stick at all. So it's just going to be a visual, hey, this happened. We'd like it to do a lot more and then melt, because then we'd actually get some precipitation, but it's a dry closeout, a little warmer to finish off the month of November.
Yeah, we'll take that. I just noticed your Christmas tie.
I'm already switching, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Is that how you do it on Thanksgiving?
I did it. I've got them decorated before. We're already ready to go.
I don't really have a Thanksgiving tie. You're looking great, though, with the colors.
Thanks for your company, my friends. We hope you had a great